Hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Pretty Little Liars. Right? That's what's behind me, Allison. A something. I don't know.
Something.
We're doing a season recap for episode 4, Midseason. Since we had like a really long break, we decided we needed a recap. So with me, I have Omikins.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you watch the whole thing over like I did?
I yes, I did.
Yeah.
From episode 1 to episode 13.
Oh, you scared me for a second when you said episode 1. I thought you went way back, like episode 1, season 1.
No,
No,
I couldn't do that in the weekend.
no, no, probably not. That'd be
No.
impressive if you could.
Well, I almost did that with Walking Dead.
Hmm.
Almost. 5 days. The whole thing up to this recent stuff.
Nice.
Mhm.
So, after watching it a second time, what are your opinions on this season's? We didn't have a chance to talk. That's another thing with this is we kind of picked this show up, in the middle.
Mhm.
When we started this whole podcast thing, the Halloween episode was the only one that had aired. So we have not shared our opinions whatsoever on this series other than that one episode. So that would be kind of the catalyst for why we're doing this. But so what did you think about this season as a whole so far compared to the other seasons anyway?
Well, I started watching Pretty Little Liars when season 4 was just going to start, and with the idea that I was going to keep up with it every week. But back in Canada, they only air at like 2 a.m. on a really crazy ass channel, so I didn't get a chance to do that. But everything I watched up to that point was amazing. So recently I started watching up to episode 13, and I really like the series, even though it's kind of like, all the characters are in, high school, and usually you kind of try to shy away from those. Um,
Yeah, that was like another one of our other shows, the Vampire
mhm.
Diaries. That's kind of
Yeah,
almost what put me off from that show,
exactly.
but this
But
one,
the
yeah.
mystery behind what's happening it's what keeps you in this show.
Definitely is, and
Hmm.
like we got to see the spin-off too, which was
Yes.
Ravenswood, which you're you're so thrilled, like I can just hear it in your voice right there. I was excited for this when it was announced because
I was too.
I love this show, and I was like, oh, we get kind of more like they said it's going to be like a supernatural, not the TV show Supernatural, but supernatural as in the entity kind of like thing. And I started thinking, this is pretty much what I watch all these other shows with like these supernatural
Yeah.
elements to them. And I was really looking forward to it. And then it just bombed, in my opinion. Anyway. Is that what you thought?
Yeah. I watched the first episode and I was like, I'm gonna give it a couple of chances. Watched up to like half of the third and I was like, nope. Turned it
Yeah.
off, went to something else.
I actually made it through the 5 episodes that aired. Or the 6. Was it 6? I think it was 5. Um,
I've
Yeah, and it's missing something. I don't know what it is. It's just not grabbing my attention. Um, I was interested in like a lot of the characters we were introduced in this season of Pretty Little Liars, like Mrs. Grenshaw, Grenwald,
Grunwald.
Grenwald. Where's Grenshaw
Grunwald.
from?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Mrs. Grenwald, she was a very interesting character to me. Like I
She
really,
was.
and then she's in Ravenswood, and she just doesn't seem the same to me. It's like a completely different character almost. It's just, I don't know. There's a whole lot about the show that I was not feeling. So I've distanced myself from it. I did watch up to what it's at because I wanted to see what direction they were going to take it, if they were going to link it in with Pretty Little Liars at any point, because obviously Caleb is on the show,
Obviously.
which is Hannah's boyfriend, and
Mm-hmm.
they left it off in the Halloween episode. Hannah said, the most recent episode, Hannah said, go stay with her until she gets help, whatever she needs to do to what's her name?
Miranda.
Miranda. See, I As anybody that watches these series know, they know I'm terrible with character names. So, Miranda, and Miranda ends up, spoilers, but Miranda ends up dying in Ravenswood, and Caleb is still there. The last episode that aired, he promised Hannah that he was coming home, and he'd be coming home that weekend. There has not been another episode after that. On either side, we haven't had another Pretty Little Liars, we haven't had another Ravenswood. Both Pretty Little Liars and Ravenswood are coming back this week. So we'll kind of get to see what happens in that. But the last we saw, Caleb was in the hospital. So I don't know if he's coming back or not. What do you think? Do you think Caleb is going to go back? Because obviously there's more episodes for Ravenswood. So with Miranda being dead and she's around as a ghost, she can't hold much weight on her own. So Caleb still needs to be there. But do you think we're going to see him cross back over to Pretty Little Liars?
Yeah, I think we might see him, make an appearance or, just come in for a couple scenes in Pretty Little Liars, but I think he's solely in Ravenswood right now.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I really don't know. I just want Ravenswood to go away. Is that wrong to say?
No, it's actually a pretty horribly done spin-off.
I love the town within
the town is
Pretty
amazing.
Little Liars. Like every time they showed it, even though it's shot through an Instagram filter, the it is.
It is.
You go Pretty Little Liars and everything's all bright and cheery and chipper. Even on like nighttime, it's still like bright and cheery and chipper, and it's like pouring rain, and they're at night, and it's like they're all lit up perfectly.
They're all eating rainbow lollipops and shit. Yeah, I know.
You go into Ravenswood and they have like this grayscale filter like over them, and it's just like it's so weird.
Yeah.
I was reading a comment somewhere. I think I read it to you actually when we were kind of discussing things a few days ago. When Caleb gets on the bus to go to Ravenswood, they're like, what is he going back in time? Where did that bus come out of? Like, it looks like the bus came out of like the 60s. It's just I don't know.
I can actually prove. I can back that point. I mean, I come from a small town, and there's old shit like that everywhere. So you know what? I mean, Rosewood has like 20K people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I come from a town of 3,000 people, so it seems. I mean, they talk about it as a small town, so I'm like, okay, so.
But
I get where they're coming from.
What the hell happened to me over here?
Where did you go? What the?
Hello, I'm back.
Oh, hey.
Hi, how's it going? I just floated out of the sky. It's some Ravenswood shit right there. But Caleb got on the bus from Rosewood, did he? So
yeah.
The bus is not necessarily a Ravenswood bus. Like
Just a second.
Hi. Are you hitchhiking?
Hey.
Are you looking for a bus to Ravenswood?
I wish that was the point here. No. Just... I can't do this.
Hi, Mia.
She doesn't care. She's like, I'm doing my own shit.
Giggling up a storm.
Like, no.
So, yeah, I don't know. The Ravenswood spinoff, good thing in theory. It was really interesting the way they set it up in the show itself in Pretty Little Liars, but in action, it actually wasn't that good. So, I'd be very surprised if it gets renewed. I don't know about you. What do you think on that?
I don't think there's much behind it to make into a second season. I mean, it might have like, that popular people watching it just to hope that it gets better. Like, I mean, Pretty Little Liars has a lot of viewers, so some of them might still be watching Ravenswood hoping that it's going to get better, and they might... might, sign it for another season because of that, because it's got fake views, basically. But
Oops. I'm hitting buttons all over the place. Things are going nuts.
okay, just as go on your face or the
Hi.
logo or something.
How's everybody doing? We're experiencing technical difficulties right now. Not really. Umi's just yelling. So, I don't know. Ravenswood, I'd be interested in it if they can polish and clear their act up. It's just, I don't know if the show is too late to fix at this point. I think a lot of people have lost interest in it. But, things and stuff. So, Umi, are you back?
I think so.
You think so? What about Allison?
What about her?
She's back.
I'd like to slap that smug freaking face off that blonde freaking bimbo.
Whoa!
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like her.
Allison's like my favorite character on this show, other than
No.
Hannah. Hannah's really my favorite character.
Hannah's growing on me, but I still see her as a whiny, she's entitled. She feels entitled because of what she's gone through or something. I don't know, but I've never liked Allison. Just the flashbacks, I'm like, if I actually knew that person, I'd probably beat the crap out of her.
Yeah, but how much of it do we actually know is things that happened and not hearsay, and we don't know a whole lot about Allison. We're known what we're told through other people, and there's always two sides to every story.
I don't care. I mean, everything I've heard so far from other people is just horrible. I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, maybe there might have been one or two good things over all the 4 seasons, but
So why do the girls miss her so much if she's such a bad person?
she's not a bad person to them.
See, look at my hat here. Can you see this? Look, there's even an A on my hat.
You're an A fanboy?
Totally an A fanboy.
So if you're an A fanboy, are you a fanboy of Ezra?
Is Ezra A?
I have no idea.
See, that's the thing. All right, so hold on. Before we get to that, Allison. Where has Allison been hiding all this time? Has she been in Ravenswood? Has she been just lurking around Rosewood? Where has she been?
She's been everywhere. She's gone to Rosewood and she's been in Ravenswood and she's been in Georgia. She's been everywhere. And anywhere she can hide, basically, without getting on her backside and causing more problems for her.
So how did she hide for this long without anybody knowing she was alive?
Well, they could have easily fixed that and actually did DNA deeper into the body, like the remains that they found under her gazebo to, confirm that, but they never did.
How do you know they didn't?
'Cause they said she was wearing the same yellow shirt and the hair was the same and things like that. So, I mean, they didn't look any further because her mom and dad said, oh, that must be her. So they just didn't really investigate it any further than that. Plus, small town, I know how small town police work, so they usually don't try to go any further if they've got the
evidence.
The answer,
yeah.
The answer seems to be right in front of their face, so they just assume.
Right. So, whose body could this have been then, if that's the case? They couldn't have just thrown a bunch of popsicle sticks together and made a fake body.
No.
Did Allison steal the body from Ravenswood?
I keep thinking of the first season of American Horror Story where they had that one kid hidden back up in the attic, hidden away from everything. Nobody knew about it other than the people who lived there.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking that body was actually Allison's twin that was hidden away.
Yeah.
Was maybe deformed or whatever, and they didn't want her out in public because they felt ashamed.
In the novels, which this TV series is based off of, Allison did have a twin sister. She was in, I believe, the Mental Institute. Um, what's that? The one?
Radley.
Radley?
Mm-hmm.
Radley, yes. I believe she was in Radley. Which now, since this should be fresh in your mind, when they were discussing, it was uh, Emily and Mrs. De Laurentiis were discussing knowing Dr. What's his face, and she was like, "Was this Allison's psychiatrist?" And she's like, "No, it wasn't Allison's." And she kind of like scrambled for a story really quick. So I'm thinking maybe that this was that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a possibility because I mean, it's obvious that it is a secret if it were a thing that the Durantis would want to hide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll go to Ezra.
Ezra.
Is Ezra A?
Oh, there's so many reasons how he could be A. I mean, he does have the funds, even though he mentions to Arya at one point that his funds have been cut off because his family, pretty much disowned him, which I don't think is the truth. I think he still has access to those funds. He just chooses to put up this front of this poor teacher so that he can, pull the wool over all the girls' eyes so that he looks like a good guy, but he's actually doing all this A stuff. It is a possibility that he's just funding A and he's doing some minion work.
But
and that A
how could he afford? How could he afford being A and all the expenses and everything with a teacher's salary? Like how?
No, I think he still has access to his parents' funds. I don't think he was cut off like he said he was.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think his whole family's in on it?
I don't think so.
Because we've met his brother, we met his mother. Did we meet the father? I think we did very briefly.
Very briefly at that party that Ezra took Arya to. It was like I don't know, some historical event with old antiques and things.
Yes, right. So, I don't know. You think he's been A the whole time? Or do you think he's just like another A minion?
It's kind of hard to think about. I mean, in the very beginning, he just seems like this amazing guy. He's so awesome. He's got great taste in, art and reading and all this kinds of stuff.
Wait. Amazing guy? He seemed like a big tool to me.
Well, you're not a girl.
Thank God for that.
No, he seemed awesome to me. So
Continue.
I don't know.
Okay, so he's this awesome guy. So you think he was like this innocent guy, whatever? Do you think, do you think A employed him, or do you think he's just been playing along the whole time?
It's possible that he's been playing along the whole time and, just tricking the girls and making them think that he is this guy that they kind of learned to know over these past years. Years? 2 years, yeah.
Yes, 2 years. 2 years. So, I don't know. Like, it kind of makes sense. So, all right. So, we have. Do we think he's A at all? Like, he's definitely involved, right? He's got to be involved.
He's definitely involved because he was there at A's hideout, the base of A, and there's male suits there, so. And he got all mad and he realized, that they had been in that place. So he kind of like lost his temper and threw a closet door that didn't really go anywhere.
But does that necessarily mean he's A? What if he's just trying to piece everything together himself? Not as A, but he's trying to figure out what is going on.
Another clue to that, him being involved, is the gas mask military-esque costume was actually a thing that was posted on the A timeline wall, whiteboard, and then he wore it to the Halloween masquerade in Ravenswood.
There were two people wearing that mask in that episode. There were two separate people.
Yes, and they actually showed him wearing it and putting on the mask. So I mean, yeah, it could have been
the other person then. What if
the other person?
I'm not completely defending Ezra because I do think he's involved, but I'm saying, what if he's not involved? I'm trying to spin this for a minute. What if he's not?
Okay.
What if this is his lair that he has set up to try to piece everything together? He's trying to figure out who A is. He has made an A timeline, knowing A is also going to be in this costume, so he got the same costume, so he could snoop around and maybe somebody would mistake him as A so he can get information.
That other guy that was wearing that costume is actually another character that's from Ravenswood.
I thought that was just the guy wearing the tin hat. I didn't think he was wearing the whole gas mask and everything.
He wasn't wearing, but no.
There was somebody else that had the full gas mask.
I'm pretty sure it was just that guy wearing a similar costume. Pretty sure.
So
Ezra had the gas mask.
So you think Ezra is definitely the one that got his hand cut?
Well, yeah, yes, because when he he came up and they were trying to change his tire, he didn't reveal his one hand, the one that got cut by Spencer.
Just and then he didn't reveal it.
He didn't reveal it then, and he didn't reveal it when he came into the backyard of whose ever backyard that was and handed Arya's phone back. He didn't reveal the hand then either.
So just because he didn't reveal his hand automatically makes him guilty?
Yes, it does.
Why?
It does.
Why? I'm sorry, but I have not revealed my left hand this whole episode, so does that make me guilty?
I don't want to say it because it'll make Torstein and Seb go crazy. Should have watched that head first.
Oh, whoa! Dirty minds over here.
I'm just thinking what they're thinking, okay?
Oh my. Well, I didn't show you the inside of my hand, which was where it could have been cut. So, for all we know, I could be A.
Well.
Just saying.
Okay.
So, you're pretty sure Ezra is A?
I'm pretty sure he's involved. And he's deeply involved. I just don't know if he's A or if he's just a minion. I just know he's involved.
This whole time we've had messages from A, and they're always signed Kisses A. So do you really think Ezra's going around signing things Kisses?
Well, I think Toby even mentioned at one point that to Spencer and he basically labels A as a she, and then Spencer goes she, and he goes, yeah, isn't that the only thought you've had? Like, A seems like a she because of the way she goes about things, or he goes about things, or it goes about things. A is an it right now, okay?
So Ezra is a hermaphrodite. Got it.
I didn't say Ezra was A. I'm just saying A is an entity and it's an it right now. At this very moment. A is actually probably more than likely more than one person at this point, so it would be an entity.
Yeah.
It
sure would. What about Cece? The last we saw, do you think she was the one that killed Weldon? She's the one that was framed for it. She's the one that was in the description from the guy that left the money in Hannah's locker. Or he's not important enough for me to know his name, so I'm not even going to try to remember his name. But the sketch rendition from his eyewitness account matched the description of Cece, who we then saw in was it the episode prior to the Halloween episode?
Yes.
Yeah, we saw her as Redcoat, and then she fell off the scaffolding in a combat fight with Arya from her new Taekwondo class or whatever. And it looked like she broke her leg. and then next thing we know, they like hug it out, and then they turn around and she's gone. And it's
Yeah.
like, did somebody take her? Did she not break her leg? Did she get up and leave? Did she crawl off? Did she like? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, it's possible that Cece could have did it. But then again, Allison is already dead. We all know that she's a conniving little wench. She could have did it, and because she's already dead, she's obviously not ever going to be a suspect. And the thing is, the kid that gave Hannah the money, the eyewitness, he at one point when he was talking to Hannah said he didn't exactly see who it was. He just knew it was a girl and she was blonde and she was running away in the woods. And then all of a sudden, Cece Drake's face is on the news as a sketch. So I don't know. I think there's.
I think he was lying the whole time about not knowing who it was because he was trying to protect himself. I think he didn't want to get wrapped up in all this. So that's why I don't think he was honest saying that he saw her when he was trying to hide the fact that he actually did. So I don't know.
I don't know. Just it doesn't line up for me. He
Uh,
seems suspicious, and I don't know.
so what about Mona?
Mona. I love Mona. I love her character. She's just
She's
so
very
off the
interesting.
wall.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, we last see her. She's like an old fogey on a porch somewhere, knitting.
Right.
Um, as far as you know, what, how can she be trusted and stuff? I honestly don't think she can ever be trusted. She's just kind of crazy all the time, and you can never trust anybody that's that crazy. I mean, they're
This is
unpredictable.
true. Um, do you think that Mona? We didn't find out what happened to her, right? She disappeared, and what in episode 12, and they went on. That's why they went to Ravenswood to try to find her, and they we still don't know where she is, right?
No, she was Shauna met yeah, Toby chased Shauna in Jenna's car, and it ended up at this bed and breakfast or this little motel thing, and Shauna met up with Mona there. Mona was sitting in a rocking chair knitting, and
Oh,
Shauna was like, yeah, and Shauna was like, are you sure you want to do this? And Mona's like, I don't think I have a choice. And then Shauna said something about, well, she had to, and that was it. It was left at she. It didn't express who it was. With Shauna, you kind of think it's Jenna, but at the moment, you don't like. At that moment, you don't understand why. Shauna could be in with A. She could be in with Allison. We don't know.
yeah. We don't know. We don't know if Shauna. We don't know if Jenna. We don't know if they're tied to Allison. We don't know if Mona's working with Allison now. We don't really know much of that.
No.
But the reason, and this is kind of going back to Ravenswood for a second. The reason why everybody was like, why did Caleb get on the bus when he has a car? Wasn't that because Toby was borrowing his car and he needed to get to Ravenswood, and Toby was already past that point, like going to the bed and breakfast where Mona's at? Isn't that Caleb's car?
Yes, that was Caleb's car.
So that kind of answers that mystery that everybody's been. Why didn't he just drive down there? Why did he take the bus?
Yeah.
That's why. So, um, we have Shauna and Jenna.
hmm
Are they a couple?
Um, with this series, it could totally be that. It they're not afraid of expressing that sort of relationship between characters, but I don't know. I think Shauna really is like her friend and her guide at this point because Jenna is losing her eyesight again, and she's really needing to lean on someone and support her through not only get losing her eyesight, but getting around again.
So is Jenna actually losing her eyesight, or is she faking it?
It's possible she's faking it. We don't know with her either. They're all crazy.
They are. It's like really crazy. So, we saw Jenna face down in the pool, right? Or
Yeah.
lake, whatever it was. It was at Emily's party, right? It's her
No,
surprise party.
yeah, her surprise party at Paige's grandparents' house.
Right. So, is this the last we see of her now?
It's the less we've seen of her, but we've heard of her. She is
Last
recovering in the hospital.
we've seen of her, no pun intended. Sorry, I had to get that out there.
What are you doing? Embracing for all the blind slaps?
Yeah. Hey, if there's blind people listening to our show right now, um,
Yeah.
good luck trying to follow this show.
So many visual cues.
Yes. So Toby.
Toby.
Toby. I hate Toby. I'm sorry. I don't like him. I don't I don't know if it's the actor. He's got his moments,
He does have his moments.
but he seems I don't know. He seems like he's trying too hard to act.
He seems really whiny. And he seems like he's overcompensating for his bad acting.
Right. I think like even
Totally
Caleb.
agree.
Caleb, I'm getting that vibe in Ravenswood. I'm
Hmm.
really feeling that in Ravenswood, which I don't get from him in Pretty Little Liars at all. So I'm not discrediting him for being a bad actor at all. I'm not saying that because he very well might not be. I'm just saying I think this character he's playing, he's
He's
not
the-
playing it right that I can
It's the
get into it.
same. It's the same character, but it's a different role that character's playing. Like in
I'm saying
Ravenswood, he's
Toby. No, I'm saying
oh
Toby at this
Toby.
point.
Yeah.
I was comparing
Yeah.
it to Caleb.
Yeah.
Saying that the actor who plays Toby may not necessarily be a bad actor. It's just the way he's playing this character. I think it's not coming off that well to me.
He played his character better when he was the outcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So why do you think it was that Toby is believing A? Like he, it is giving information regarding the whereabouts, like the happenstance of surrounding what happened Toby's mother. But
Mhm.
Toby's like going in blindly, trusting A, doing whatever A wants, hiding the RV, uh, like sneaking around, not telling the girls. Like Spencer kept this a secret for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Why do you think it took her so long to tell Arya, Hannah, and Emily?
He was just so desperate, and she saw that and how upset he was about it, and he just wanted to find out, and that was like his passion, and she wants to be supporting because she loves him.
Hmm.
So I mean, I wouldn't want to, but I think I would go to the I'd go to lengths to keep that kind of secret too, because at the same time, it's not really their business, but it is because of all the stuff in the RV that was about them.
Right. So, what do you think the deal is with Toby's mom now? It's very clearly not pointing to the signs that she jumped. They've already spent too much time in the storyline, so they're not just gonna be like, yeah, she jumped. That's not what
Oh,
happened at this point.
no.
So they've invested so much time. They've dragged the story out way too long. They need to wrap this up soon because this is just
Yes.
stretching way too long. If this goes to the end of the season, I'm gonna be kind of upset. But is this tied into A? Is like all this? Did your building just collapse?
No. I don't fucking know what that was.
That was A. Just calm down. A
Yeah,
just jumped
totally.
off the roof.
You sound like a fucking robot jumping off the roof.
Yeah, pushed
Uh.
Toby's mom off your roof.
Oh.
Do you
Okay.
think do you think it was A? Maybe somebody's air conditioner fell out of their window.
Maybe. No, it, I think at this point she's murdered. She's been murdered, and they're just covering it up. As far as it being related to A, it's very possible. I mean, I think at this point they've actually said it was Cece that was playing the part because of Mrs. De Laurentiis saying that they switched spots and that Cece was playing Allison, had her clothes, her hair was done the same way, and she got that phone call that from from the actual attendants at Radley and said, "Your daughter's here. She doesn't want to go home. She thinks she's gonna hurt herself." And Allison's sitting there playing piano. It was actually Cece.
Right. So now, do we think this is involved with A, possibly as Toby's mom being the murderer, or do you think this is something bigger that Wilden was involved in that he covered up? Because he was the one that clearly altered the story in the first place.
Yeah.
So was he working for A? Like, where does that all fit in?
I think it was the start. It wasn't an A thing then, but it was the start of this whole A bullshit cover up going on mystery thing.
So is this part of the NAT club? Possibly. Do you think this has something to do with it? Like, was the NAT club the origin of A, or?
No, I think it was just the collaboration of, I mean, all the things. Because Cece isn't from Rosewood originally, is she?
I don't know. I'm not sure
I,
about
d-
that.
I don't think so. And then there's all those other things, like there's the mask maker, and I mean, there's so many different things that come into play, and a lot of the people involved aren't from the NAT club. They're from the same, generation, families or whatever, but they're still involved. So I don't think NAT is the start of it all,
Right.
but they are involved.
Right. So, what about Arya? We have Arya. I have to fix something, and I totally just like was waiting till I went to the full screen here, so it didn't show up. But by me now telling you that kind of defeated the purpose. So, we we have Arya kind of like she's distancing herself from Ezra. Then she meets the kid that begins with a J at the karate club,
Jake?
Jake. Now, did she just wander into that karate club? Is that how they first met? Or what was the catalyst that set that up? Like,
There was a discussion where they said, um, that she was the smallest one, so she's the weakest target.
right.
And that,
But why did she choose that school?
why did she? Probably because it was the easiest to get to. It was most accessible to her, and probably because her parents didn't have to know about it. She just go in and be like, "Teach me," because in most other cases, people want to know about your parents and all these extra phone numbers and references. It's crap, the things you have to go through to get into places like that. But it just seemed like an easy
So
thing for her.
it was completely random that she happened to pick that particular school. So there's
Yeah.
should be no reason why Jake would be involved with A.
There should be no reason why.
So if they do that, I'm gonna be upset. Because Jake seems like a little shady. The way
He
he told
does.
Ezra off and like
Yeah.
that seems like something an over controlling boyfriend would do. And Jake kind of made it very clear that he didn't want to be part of Arya if she wasn't over Ezra, and then all of a sudden things kind of change and he's very like I don't know, confrontational. He like approached Ezra at the dance. Then
Well,
Arya wanted to go see like some poetry reading the next day at the grill,
and he was like, no.
and he was just like, "Nope, we're gonna go dinner and a movie." That's that.
Well, I mean,
Knowing Ezra was gonna be there.
yeah, yeah. I just think that, he's a karate teacher. He's just more naturally kind of the jock personality, and he likes the control because he's more aggressive. Even though, well, assertive. I'm going to say assertive because aggressive is the wrong word.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But,
that would be like why George Lucas changed it from Revenge of the Jedi to Return of the Jedi, because they're not supposed to be vengeful.
mm-hmm. Yes, okay. Star Wars reference works well here.
Does, doesn't it? No. I don't know. So something seems a little off with Jake. I don't know. Maybe somebody got to him at some point.
hope so. I hope there's another twist in the story, another person, another bad guy, or another something
What if
to
Ezra and
stir
Jake are
these girls
working
up.
together?
I I mean, if they're working together, Jake has no idea who Ezra is, but Ezra knows who Jake is.
Yeah,
So,
possibly. So, all right. So, who else we got? We got Hannah, my favorite.
Hannah.
Her mom just went through a whole bunch of shit.
Oh yeah.
So, her mother was framed for the murder of Wilden.
Mm-hmm.
Mystery bail was posted for $1 million. Thought to originally have been
$100,000.
100,000. I thought it was 1 million.
It's 100,000.
Thought the bail was set at $1 million.
Nope.
Okay, 100,000. I really could have sworn it was 1 million. Because they said it was upped for killing a police officer. But all right. Anyway, semantics, apples and oranges, apples to apples, Cards Against Humanity. What was I saying? Words.
Something about the bail.
Oh yeah. So the money was posted, which was originally thought to be her ex-husband. Later revealed to have been Pastor Ted.
Ted.
Is that his name?
Ted? It sounds right.
Okay, we'll go with that.
George. His name's George.
Now, her mother said that Pastor Ted was the one that posted it, but is that just an assumption that she had, or did we actually find out for sure that he posted the bail money?
I don't think we found out for sure. Maybe it was mentioned in a conversation between Marion, or what's that her name?
Maid Marian? She related to Robin Hood?
No, I don't remember her name. Hannah's mom and Ted. Um, Maybe it was in that conversation, but I didn't really pay attention to that because I was more like caught on Hannah and whatever she was discussing on the phone in the background or whatever. And then there was that conversation between Hannah and Ted when he was doing his run, and he's like, you just need faith, and she's like, no, I need money, and he's like, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, her mom's out of jail. Her bail was posted.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you think that story's over? Do you think she's done being framed? We saw the new detective, that lady detective, come down, sit down, have lunch with the girls, and mentioned that the car that drove through, was it Emily's house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was stolen.
Yeah, the stolen car drove through Emily's house, crashed, landed right through their living room. But I'm trying to think of the name of those windows. I can't think of the style windows. What are they, bay windows or something?
Bay window, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. They just crashed right through it. And then apparently the muddy shoe that Hannah's mom had was found at that scene, but then was later cleared of all that. So do you think it's completely over for her? Do you think they're going to be able to creep her back into that story, or are you just glad that story's kind of over with regarding her?
It's definitely not over. Now that Cece's gone and Mona's missing, per se, they're gonna go back to Hannah's mom because they can't find anybody else.
Yeah.
And the girls are looking more and more guilty, so it's just one of those vicious cycles.
So what about Emily? Not only did she have all that stuff, she had to move out into like a motel, and then moved into Allison or the De Laurentiis house, and she was living in Allison's room and all that. But she had earlier on in the season, she got an injury. She tore her shoulder.
Rotator cuff.
Yeah, rotator cuff.
Yeah.
Yep. See? Yeah. Yeah. Do you think the injury was actually as severe as we're led to believe? Because in one of the end scenes, it was right around that time. I think it was like episode 5 or 6. We saw the X-ray up on A's wall. A's going through files or whatever, and A has the X-ray. Do you think A could possibly have staged the X-ray, made it look worse than it is, or do you think she's actually that injured just from falling on a rock?
I had a discussion about this with Mike, and he said it'd be almost near impossible to alter an X-ray. But looking at the X-ray, I was like, that doesn't look like a torn rotator cuff at all. And he goes, no, and you wouldn't see it on an X-ray, but if it was that bad, as if they're saying, you would see some of the muscle where the X-ray is kind of focusing on would be discolored and separated, even though you're not an X-ray's for bones, but you'd be able to see
Right.
like color differentiation. So, and he said it just looks dislocated, and it would take, depending on how bad you hit your shoulder, it would take a few weeks for that to actually heal over, and feel better again.
Right.
And
So
since
is
she's
it
yeah,
possible that it was only dislocated and
and yeah, it's very possible that it was only dislocated, and A did something to that X-ray that made it look like it was more than that.
she could have just
And
replaced the X-ray and put a different name at the bottom, like just re-exposed it or whatever. Like,
yeah, we all know that A's really good at fudging up evidence so that it looks different, but it is what it's meant to be, kind of thing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think you feel the same way I do. Paige.
What's that? Paige. I do not like Paige. I want to slap that girl silly.
Yeah.
You were talking about Jake being controlling and overbearing. Well, Paige is doing the same thing, except she has a nice smile on.
Yeah, I like Jake better than I like Paige.
Yeah, I know, because he's blunt about it and he's forward and
He's
he's being
yeah.
controlling. But she's like, I just, I did this and I didn't tell you, but you have to be there at 3. And you want to swim? No, no, no. Emily's like, no, you want me to swim. I want to just go to freaking school. I don't freaking care about swimming right now. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really like her. Don't
I
like
don't
her.
like her. I don't like
I
her at
want her to
all.
go away. I hope they break up.
Yep.
I hope they're
So
done.
do I. I so
I hope
same thing.
Emily goes away for the summer and does her uh, construction job, volunteer work. Uh, I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. How could she go and do this stuff if her injury is really as bad as she said it was? I had a friend that had injured their rotator cuff. They had surgery for it, right?
Mm.
And they were in like one of those full um, casts, like not casts, but like the brace, the shoulder brace and everything. She couldn't like lift her arm like this high, and Emily's like running around doing all sorts of things, and
Yeah,
she's just complaining, oh, it's a little sore when I have to put this plate up. I'm sorry, you wouldn't even be able to lift your arm that high to put it there in the first place.
exactly. That's why I was saying, like, when me and Mike were discussing it, it just looks dislocated in the X-ray. So, I mean, she is taking the medications for a torn rotator cuff, so that might make a difference as far as, her being a little bit more loopy. She is a little bit more out there when she's like talking and
Yeah.
doing actions. So it makes sense that, maybe the medication is affecting her. But I mean, as far as like acting go, that's kind of like a little thing. Like I don't think the writers would write that in because that just seems like it'd be a silly detail that you wouldn't really care about.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, she's doing so much. She couldn't do any of that stuff that she's doing right now if her cuff was torn, her rotator cuff. So,
Yeah, I don't think she could.
no.
But
Yeah.
I guess last but not least, for the girls anyway, is my least favorite of the girls is Spencer.
Answer. Yeah.
Is she also the least favorite?
Um she's
That's fair.
I dislike her as much as I dislike Arya.
You don't like Arya?
I'm No, I don't. I don't like Arya. She just seems too innocent for me. Too innocent. Even with all this shit that's happening, she's like, "No, mom, you must chase your dreams." It's like, you know what? Shut the hell up. Just tell your mom to go because she'd be happy instead of being like, "Chase your dreams, mom. Do it." All like whimsical and stuff. No. Bitch, talk like a real person.
Whoa, whoa. See, I like Arya a whole lot better than I like Spencer.
No, no,
I
I
think Arya is
like.
like my second favorite of the girls. Not counting Allison. Allison number one, Hannah number two, uh,
I think the only.
Arya, Emily, and finally Spencer.
No, I mean I like Hannah. Obviously, I don't like Allison. Emily, I can never remember when I'm talking about her in regular conversation. Arya, I don't like because she just seems like a whiny little girl to me. And Spencer, I don't like because she's got this I'm a rich girl attitude and her ego is too big for her freaking face.
I think that's exactly why I don't like her. But she was rejected from the university that she was applying
Hmm.
to. It had a lot to do with the letter of recommendation that she well, not the
Yes.
letter of recommendation, but her essay rather, I should say. Uh,
Yes.
and do you think it was altered by A? Do you think that might have been something, or do you think it was just because she ended up putting Radley on there?
Um, I guess, I mean, I've never ever done an essay for college or university or anything, so I don't know how that's actually rated for when people are doing admissions. So I guess the whole thing with Radley being honest about Radley would take her down a few notches.
But
But
wouldn't you
I
rather want to see somebody be honest on that than
personally, I would, yes. And then like looking at her, all her after school programs and, all the activities she does and her actual grades and things, I wouldn't care about her Radley experience because it was a short experience and she had a nervous breakdown. Some kids really do have nervous breakdowns, but they end up going to Ivy League schools anyways.
yeah? I mean,
So,
they just do a good job at hiding it, I guess, right?
yeah,
Like you don't reveal that information. It's on a need to know basis.
yeah. I mean, I think most universities and schools like that would want to know if you have a psychological past about you, a history that's kind of like unnerving. But I mean, in Spencer's case, it wasn't bad. She just kind of like lost it for a little while and she came back and she's better than ever.
Better than ever? Really? Really? She's worse than ever.
Well,
She's
I mean,
just
as
as obsessive. She's like
I'm
overly
talking about her
controlling.
I'm talking about her school and grades and her activities in school and things like that, school related. It's still good. It's still good. So, I mean, I would look at that if I was admissions and, if she's going to do great and be successful and actually be like one of the best surgeons in the world. I would surely get her into the school, but I don't know. But yes, she is being obsessive right now. Ugh.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We pretty much touched on all the major characters. A few of the minor ones we have what Ari's mom. She
Yeah.
met up with that bakery dude, right?
Yes.
And she wanted to go to like New Zealand with him.
Austria?
Yeah, that's in New Zealand, right?
No.
Sure it is.
No, it's not.
It's close enough. They're like on the border of each other.
No, they're not.
Pretty sure they are.
I don't know. I don't know my geography very well, but I'm pretty sure Austria is in the European area of the world.
Yeah,
Like close to Germany or
same thing.
something. No, not
Why?
the same thing.
Why do you think she would go and? Why do you think she'd want to go and leave with this guy she just met like 3 months ago and go on like this crazy like worldly trip to New Austria?
Nuance. She's um puppy love.
Puppy love.
Yep. She just got out of a bad relationship. I mean, well, it was good and then it was bad because she found out about her husband and cheating and but anyways, after that, she wants recovery time, I guess. And best way to do that is get the hell out of town.
Now, I know the internet has kind of been abuzz with did she or did she not go? Because we haven't heard, we haven't seen. Last we knew, she was in the hospital, and we didn't see, like, an Arya and her mother goodbye. Like, did she go? Did we just not see the goodbye? Like, what was the case with that?
Well, I remember her. I remember Arya saying something when Mike was in trouble at school about the car that got vandalized, and
Oh, yeah,
her
we didn't
ex.
talk about Mike. We'll get to him.
No,
Yeah.
we'll get to him. And Arya came up with the excuse that he was Skyping his mother. So I kind of think she's already gone to Austria. But I mean, like, cause why would he Skype his mother when she lives in the same town and she can be easily accessed and gone like talk over the phone, things like that. So I think she's already in Austria. I think she's already taken this trip and got on the plane and I mean, and plus, there is a point where someone was actually gathering some of her work from the school for her. And that might have been when she was in the hospital, but I mean, she's not there at all.
Okay, so
And
she left.
the hospital thing was very, very brief because you see her in the coffee shop later that episode talking to Byron, and he was
Mm-hmm.
telling her to go to Austria, and all she had was like this bandage on her neck.
Right. Yeah, so Mike. Do you think Mike was the one that wrecked the car? Because we had that whole incident with Mike's friend tutoring, being tutored by
I think he
Arya,
froze.
and then he snuck a kiss in, and then told the whole school that she was a slut, and Ezra, and all this, and blah, blah, blah. It was this whole ordeal. So then Mike kind of gets mad. They get into this little tiff. They get into a fight,
Yep.
basically. And then the next night, during the poetry reading at the grill, his car gets vandalized. It's get
Yep.
beat with a bat, and it's immediately thought it was Mike. I even thought it was Mike. Did you think it was Mike at first?
At first, yeah, totally. Just from when he was running away because of the lacrosse hoodie,
Mm-hmm.
that totally, it pointed to Mike. But you didn't see his face. You didn't see anything that would, point it to Mike other than the lacrosse hoodie. But at that point, anyone could have taken that hoodie and said, "I'm gonna pretend I'm Mike, and I'm gonna beat this car to a little tiny
Right.
ice cube."
So, do you think it could possibly have been Ezra?
If you look at the build of the person running away, it's definitely not Ezra.
Okay. Uh, Jake?
Jake's too buff for the guy that was running away. So maybe it was Mike, but we don't know. Didn't see his face.
Yeah. Could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra really came out of left field and stood up for Mike, obviously, to gain some trust out of Arya and,
Yeah.
all this stuff that ended up not really panning out. And then it was more of Ezra's son, or alleged son, which we found out is not his son,
Mm-hmm.
moving away that started this whole thing and got him to talk to Arya. And they kind of, because of this whole talk, and they ended up sharing a kiss again and all this stuff. So, do you think Arya and Ezra are going to be getting back together?
He's surely gonna try and weasel his way back in.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Allison's back, I'm pretty sure Arya's mind's gonna be preoccupied, and I think he's gonna escalate his A stuff just to get the because it's obvious that something's gonna be up, and he's gonna notice, and he's gonna realize that they know Allison's back, and he's gonna not want to know where.
So we had Mrs. Grenwald. Um, she clearly said to it was Spencer, Arya, and Emily. She goes,
Hmm.
one of you was touched by the one that Allison fears the most.
Right.
And you believe that that person is Ezra.
Yes. But
So does
I
that
was
make
actually,
Ezra board shorts?
I think that it's, you know, Allison fears A. She fears this entity. So that's the thing she fears the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think if Miss Grunwald, because she had seen Arya early that night, she would have said, "One of you has been touched by the thing that Allison fears most," and that would be like it'd be like, "Oh, well, we've already been in contact with it. Well, okay, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on here?" But she says that after the whole, thing with Spencer being in the arboretum, the plant
Greenhouse.
room, the greenhouse, what the hell ever. She slashes his hand, and he's grabbed her.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been physically touched.
Right. So
And Ezra's
does that make Ezra board shorts though?
it doesn't make Ezra board shorts at all because we don't know if board shorts was
Board
a
shorts is the
thing.
person that Allison fears the most.
Is it?
That's kind of what they were saying.
When
Ezra was scared to death of board shorts. It's kind of been a running thing that's been going on this last season and a half.
Ezra was scared to
Uh,
death about.
God damn it. Too many names. Allison.
I don't know if she was scared of board shorts. I don't think they've outright came and said, "Oh, well, board shorts is the one she's scared of." I mean, they've assumed it, but I think board shorts was just something that it was a guy that she liked when she was at the beach, and he was an older guy and all that. It is backstory, but I don't think board he might be involved. I mean, everybody in this freaking town and area could be involved at one point, but I mean, I don't know if he's Ezra is board shorts.
Right. I guess the last person to bring up is. I can't think of his name, so it's going to be difficult to bring him up. The ex boyfriend of Spencer and Melissa.
Ren.
Ren. Okay. So Ren is apparently back with Melissa.
Is he?
That's right.
Well,
That was in the document that
yeah, that they've
Shauna
had,
dropped, I believe, right?
yes, that they've had business propositions together and that Ren is on the payroll and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. It doesn't have any inclination that they are together, but I mean, those girls assume so much shit. It's crazy.
They've been sneaking around. We know
They
that
have,
much.
well,
So the
he's been
reason,
sneaking around with a lot of them, so
yeah. But now, are they working for A, or is this part of the NAT club?
I have no idea.
Or
I
is the NAT
mean,
club part of A? Or are they two rival entities?
I have no. I mean, it's obviously that they're different. They're different groups. I don't know if one's the NIT club. Obviously, one is A, but I mean, maybe it just happens to be a group of the same people from the NAT. I mean, most of them are dead at this point. I mean, Garrett and Ian are both dead. They are
Right.
part of NAT. And I mean, Melissa's scared because she had affiliations with NAT at one point. Um, Cece, Shauna, I mean, I don't think they were ever part of NAT, but they are, they're working with them, the same people that were involved with NAT years
Right.
ago.
Right. So here's my biggest question to you.
Hmm.
What do you think Ezra looks like in board shorts?
Looks like Ezra in board shorts.
What do you think Ezra looks like in board shorts? Does he look good, or does he look like he has chicken legs?
Chicken legs.
That's what I picture Ezra looking at. I pictured these white chicken legs. I don't see Ezra laying out and getting a tan. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, there was that one episode where Ezra was riding the bike and all the girls were looking at his rump.
Oh,
So he might be well built,
maybe.
as far as we know.
Maybe, or maybe it's taken this whole last season. Maybe that's why they had to go on a break in the middle of the season, is he had to go work his legs out. So, uh, when they do some flashback reveal of him in board shorts, that his legs actually look good.
Um, maybe.
It's totally it. You know it.
Possibly. I don't know.
Why else would they go on break in the middle of the season?
Because that's how they do things
This is
every year.
this is how they do things every year. I'm just grasping at straws now.
Yes, you are.
So, any other final thoughts here?
Nope.
No.
No. No. I mean, I'm looking forward to what they're going to give us with the rest of the season. It seems like there's a lot of story left and they need to fit it in what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
Yeah.
No, wait. Yeah, no. They have
Yeah.
another,
It
what,
ends in
12
what?
episode?
It ends probably March, I want to say. We have
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, we have a few months, but I mean, there's still a lot of story that seems to be there.
the last
And,
date we have is February 25th, and that's episode 21. There's still 3 episodes after that.
okay.
So,
Yeah, so it's about 6 or 7 weeks worth of episodes to go through.
yeah. Oh, Jasper, my cat, is being a pain in the ass, sitting on my headset, so I can't like move my head. Um, so January 7th is when the show comes back, which is like 3 days from now.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2 by the time you guys watch this. The episode is Who's in the Box?
Who's in the box?
Yep.
Which is probably referencing to who was in, the gazebo, who was the dead person that was supposed to be Allison.
Yeah, we kind of speculated this a little bit on our last podcast, which was
Mm-hmm.
the Halloween episode. But now
Yeah.
that we've just rewatched the whole series again and everything, it says, all right, it says, as the lies go look for answers about Allison and try to make sense of their lives of the past, a darker side of Ezra emerges. So we're definitely going to see evil Ezra. Like, we're going to see something.
Is it gonna be like Evil Damon?
Ooh, maybe. Damon from the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
So
That's exciting.
that
That's
would be
exciting.
interesting. So, yeah, Who's in the Box? Definitely, we speculated this last time. Is the who is in the coffin essentially?
Yeah.
I think we're both with the same theory that it's Allison's twin. But if it's not, where do you think they got the body?
And who put it there? Like,
Is it
um,
like a medical cadaver, like that they found and buried? I don't know. Like
I have no
they usually
idea.
keep pretty good tabs on all that stuff, but
Usually.
I don't know. Could have been a body left over from Ravenswood, from Miranda's uncle. Who knows? That'd be an
Does
interesting
that
tie into
does that
Ravenswood.
mean Miranda's uncle is involved?
He seems kind of shady anyway.
He does, but then why make a spin-off if he's really involved and
Yeah,
he's given bodies? And that just makes no sense.
I don't know, but they need something to tie Ravenswood back in if they want any chance at salvaging that show. So
This is true.
I don't know. I like as much as I want Ravenswood to end. I don't really want it to end. I want it to get better, but I feel like it's too far gone at this point.
Yeah, it would be great if it would just, pick its socks back up and be one of those amazing shows you're, looking forward to every night or
Mm-hmm.
every week. But at this point, it doesn't seem like it's going to be like that.
No.
So I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up.
Hmm.
I think that was a pretty lengthy recap of the mid-season.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we did kind of have 13 episodes to discuss in
We did.
one. So
Yeah. So, Omi, where can the people find you?
they can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
You can find me on twitter.com/phenomenon. Phenomenodom. Let me enunciate that a little better. PHENOMEDOM. And you can find us both on Twitter, Gmail, Facebook, probably somewhere else, Google Plus, I think.
Yes.
Slash ASOTV podcast, and catch more of our Pretty Little Liar podcast, some more of your favorite TV shows. And I guess the next time you'll see us is January 8th, probably. Day after Pretty Little Liars airs.
Oh, we do. Maybe. Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yes. That sounds about right.
Yeah. So, catch you guys later.
I hope you guys had a nice holiday. Yay! It was awesome, right? Right?
Right.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah, and stuff.
And that. And things.
And stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Ravenswood.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm lying through my teeth.
You are so lying.